My name is Prakash Sharma, the founder director of Bija Training, as well as the author of the book, The Mask Leadership. The Mask Leadership community is built with a specific purpose of creating 1,000+ leaders, wherein we invite the working professionals as well as the business people to share their challenging situations about leadership on our website, and which is streamlined, which we will also give them solutions through our week on week key corporate leaders, top management leaders from the corporate company are the people who give the solutions to all our members as well as the key people. So this week we have one of the important guests, Mr. Habib, who is here with us today to share his experience about the specific topic where leader as a risk taker. So I'm sure we all are ready. If all are ready to listen to Mr. Habib, kindly type in the chat box and then slowly we'll go ahead to start. So kindly type in the chat box ready and let me see how many people are ready to go ahead to start and listen to Mr. Habib. Yes, thank you very much. We have people typing and ready on the chat box, and more people we look forward to type in the chat box as well. Thank you very much, members as well as the visitors. So currently we all are being muted. We will be giving you an opportunity to interact with our guest during the end of the particular episode, so that you will be able to share or interact with them much better, right? So now, with the just to give you a quick personal background about our guest. Mr. Habib is married to Miss Taruta. She's a housewife, and Mr. Habib has 3 children. And Mr. Habib's hobbies is traveling the world, and his favorite sport is playing tennis. Lot more to know more about Mr. Habib. Let's see his professional video, which we understand what experience he has gained and which are the different areas where he has been expertise, and how he's going to help us today more, where leaders create more leaders in terms of risk taking. So here is the video of Mr. Habib's professional experience. Great. So members as well as visitors, kindly type in the chat box. Welcome, Mr. Habib, and he is here with us today. Welcome, Mr. Habib, for the Mask Leadership Community Leaders Connect.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Good evening to all.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure that you have joined us today. And most of our members, as they are going to join in, they'll be joining us. Okay. So great, Mr. Habib. Sir, today the topic, as we have already understood, as we have taken as leader as a risk taker. And most of the challenges on our site with working professionals as business people have put, one of the aspect is taking risk. So that's when we thought you are the right person for this particular topic, and that's where we have invited you here, sir. So the first question, let's go ahead. So we all leaders understand that as a leader, we need to take risk. But there are a lot of other insights within oneself. But maybe know what is your view? What is stopping a person to take risk?
All right. So thank you so much once again, and thank you, Prakash, and thank you, Bhavna, for connecting me to this one.
Yes,
It's been really pleasure to be here with you all.
sure, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, the biggest thing anybody wants to take in entrepreneurial journey is the risk. So what you said, what is come again? Sorry, your question is what is stopping people from taking risk?
Yes.
Okay.
So people are able to understand as leaders, people over here, working professionals, people here are business people. They understand as leaders we need to take risk, but there is a certain stoppage. There are people who stop by taking risk. What is stopping them? In your views, what is it stopping people to take risk?
Yeah, the number one I think is the fear of failure. Okay, so I am now comfortably in a job or doing a business in a small way, and I'm happy with it. And why should I, take more risk to move up? That's the biggest thing. So they have the number one point is the fear of failure. Okay,
Oh,
and the next one is the comfort zone. You if you're in a comfort zone, I don't think you'll be able to achieve anything. You need to really come out of it. Of
true,
course, the frightening thing, I mean, they get frightened to take the risk.
right?
And what people think, the judge, I mean, it's more than we think of others. How are they going to judge me? Am I doing right? This wrong? People will give you so many ideas, and how do we overcome that? Those are the major things which actually puts people. But I like to add that, I don't know how many of you have seen this, Mark Zuckerberg's famous quote, which he says in the changing times, the biggest risk you can take is not to take any risk, so not to risk is not taking risk is the biggest risk is what. So
Yeah,
you need to take risk in life if you want to, enjoy success. So there are a lot of downsides and upsides on that. The downside is, yes, you need to work extra hard. If you're in a job, you only work office
true.
timings, and you're very cool about it. But if you're in a business, you'll have to work extra hard, almost like except your sleep, even your dreams, you actually think of your business. And there's a lot of stress comes with it. You will sometimes have sleepless nights, a lot of anxiety. You'll have to pay your salaries on time. I mean, a lot of anxieties, like, how will my project takes off? For example, we are in the real estate,
Yes,
so the approvals takes a long time, and a lot of processes there. So these are the anxieties which goes through. You make a plan, things will not work, but you still have to roll everything. Keep moving the entire the wheel. So that's the biggest challenge. These are the downsides, but the upside is, yes, you're the boss, you're the leader, you have your own. You live your own life. That's the upside of it, and there are many other aspects which I think we can move forward.
true. Rightly told. In fact, I was able to quickly understand the three important points which I've shared. Just to know more details or more understanding, more deeper, Mr. Habib, maybe know what are the risks which you have taken in your career or your professional life. I'm sure that will really help our members and visitors to really get inspired more.
Uh, yes, there are plenty. Maybe I think I will take about, say, six,
Yes.
7 minutes to completely just relive my journey. I think it's been a fabulous life I've been having, thanks to Almighty. The road was, completely, uh, it was never a smooth ride. Now, today people can think I'm a success and all that, but then, I had more failures than success.
True.
It started very early. Even during my studies, I should thank my parents for putting me in a boarding school. From
Mhm.
6th standard to 10th standard, I was in a boarding school where you don't get to see your parents, which means you're actually out of your comfort zone. You need to do all
True.
your things on your own. That discipline really taught me very well. And we get to see the parents, once a month or twice, or once in 2 months. That's the kind of a thing. So,
Hmm.
and then I did my chemical engineering in Bangalore. Sorry, I'm just trying to digress, say how this, and then maybe I'll come to your actual question. So, the comfort zone is what you need to come out. So, when I went to Bangalore and did my chemical engineering there, And see, normally what happens is people from different regions come there. I mean, Bangalore was those days was the place where people go from across the country. Generally, they all mix together. Tamilians will be in a group. They will be sharing the same rooms, and they eating the
Mm.
same place and mingling around
Correct.
Telugu guys and like that. Bombay guys, UP guys, and like that. But I didn't want to actually be with Tamilian guys. I mean, throughout my until my 12th standard, I was in Chennai, and so I want to learn new things, and I happened to end up with the Telugu guys, and for 6 months, and I learned that language. And
Wow.
learning, I mean, you need a lot of skills in life. So I realized that I want to learn Hindi because in this part of the world, Hindi was not so thing. But so second year, I went, I took a hostel room with one Punjabi guy. He doesn't know a word of English, and I didn't know a word of Hindi.
Uh-huh.
So 6 months we were together, and then he used to talk only in English to me. He used to kill me with English, and I used to kill him in Hindi. That man, I learned that language. This language was
Okay.
very useful from in my life. So what I'm trying to say is, you need to come out of the comfort zone to actually want to skill up. So as I said, this Hindi was very useful for me in my life. So after I passed out of my college, unfortunately, I got married as well. So I didn't know what to do. My parents were, my dad was is a millionaire. He was doing into gem business in Hong Kong, very well established, from the mid 60s. I could very well join him and then be with him and then enjoy the comfort, but I didn't want that path. I was there for 1 2 months and said, this is not what it is, because your parents will try to condition you, everything. My dad was actually kind of a very tough man, like most of the dads. So
Okay.
I had to listen to him, and I'm a kind of a rebel right from the young age. So that was, I said, let me do whatever I want. I want to do everything on my own.
Uh,
So at that time, I didn't know what business to do. Then gem business was a family business, but I don't know ABCD of it. Then
okay.
I took a flight to Colombo from Chennai. I just had about $300. What are the savings had in my life? I had that.
Okay.
Went and bought some stones, which I don't know to whom to buy, whom to, I mean, I don't know what is the cost of it and where do I sell this. But I took a risk of investing in it. I mean, rather if you sit and keep talking to people, what this, that, I don't believe in that. I always take a decision and then, make right that decision. That is how I've been throughout. So I bought the stones, and then I took it here, and I was able to sell it at a, at a very small price. Yeah, I do get some credit there, and then I need to give back the money in about 10 days, 2 weeks time. So that is the thing. So I make a lot of mistakes in buying, sometimes overpriced, but still I still in a loss and give back the money. So
Okay.
credibility is what I really I've ensured that I make money or not, but I ensure that my my somebody who I have to pay on time. That is what I really learned. So 3 years I was doing very good in gem business, and I really made some good money. But yes, a lot of mistakes, a lot of as I said, more than 80% I would have actually had bad deals. But every day there's a deal happening, buying and selling. 3 years
Mm.
I made some serious money, I should say.
Great.
With the kind of hard work, I was working like say about 18 hours a day, almost, like traveling a lot of times. 1 week in Sri Lanka, coming to Chennai, and then again traveling around across India, Bombay, Delhi, Jaipur, Kolkata, and all that. That was a big thing. I mean, I don't think we have time to talk about that. So, but then after 3 years, I realized it has actually started boring for me. I mean, there is no much of challenge, but
Mm.
I've made tons of money. Now and then again, staying in Sri Lanka was not comfortable to me, because I'm always in a visitor's visa, and I am considered as a second citizen there. So I started wanted to do something in Chennai, and that is when this real estate happened to. I mean, I
Mm.
was just giving a thought on that, but I don't know. I don't know ABCD of real estate. I've never worked anywhere. So with whatever money I had, I just
Okay.
bought this, 2 grounds in Vilivakkam, and I started doing it. And that was a time when all the big developers were failing in 1997, if I remember. There was the Asian financial crisis, so that is where the entire. I mean, but I didn't know. I was a deaf guy because I didn't know anybody. I started doing it. It was a 50 crore, 50 lakh project. I had only about 5 lakhs in my hand.
Uh-huh.
Despite that, I don't know how I made it. I just sold it for a very less price again. Even broker would have made some serious money. I remember 715 rupees is what I sold my apartment at. The cost was something around 700. So still I was okay. 2 years, it was like fine. And then I do another project, so it went on for 6, 7 years. I mean, it was very comfortable. Then I thought, okay, it is again boring for me. I need to take more risk in life. That is when I met this Ramki who came to Chennai to take the office. So in one of my building, which I did, they bought this office. So I joined with them. They are a very big guys. They are into multi-fold infrastructure, into waste management, into real estate as well. But to become a partner with them is not easy. So that's the biggest risk I again took. I mean, a big guy can easily eat you up. Okay, I mean, you are such a knave, but still it is okay. I took the courage to partner with them and give it. So why did they partner with me? Because it is like I mean, I always practiced down to earth. I was very humble and sincere in whatever I was doing, and of course the hard work. That's how we became partner. And so that journey continued till now. We've been doing projects after projects, and every day there was a lot of risk involved, and we had to mitigate, and somehow things were going good. So now the next biggest risk I'm going to take is whatever I did in the last 20 years in real estate. Say for example, I must have done about say 3 million square feet. I want to do that two times in the next 2 years. That is the kind of risk, which means I'll have to borrow more money. I'll have to employ some good talent, pay good salaries, get some good talents. My credibility has to be good. A lot of landowners have to trust me. So it's the biggest thing. So that's how it is. The journey has been. Sorry, I don't know whether I answered your question.
Great, great. Definitely, yes. In fact, we're able to see the series of risk which you have been taking across right from you have started your career. And one of the aspect, as you really told, is moving away from the comfort zone. And that itself is one of the important aspects which we need to be doing it. And true, rightly identified and shared. Wonderful, Habib. So, Mr. Habib, I also have the next question. As we are sharing, it's a nice, inspiring story which you have got, and how you have started, and then how you have partnered with Ramki. There are a lot of series of risk being taken, but I'm sure there are ups and downs for every leader. And I'm sure as a businessman, there are constant ups and downs. When you go down, and I'm sure there are a lot of feelings which undergoes within you, and maybe now how do you bounce back? So definitely that's one of the important quality of a leader, because we are aware the risks are being taken. So when the up and downs are coming, how do you bounce back, Mr. Habib?
Yeah, I think I'm in a business where it's one of the most riskiest of the the real estate is considered as risky. If you
Yes.
see the Reserve Bank's terminology, we come under risk category. So yes, we see a lot of ups and downs. The cyclical is like it goes through a lot of phase. The last 5 years been horrible, and a lot of major developers perished there or in trouble and whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, so how do I come out is like, you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe that you can do it, and, hardships will come your way. And number one is, you should not give up. The never give up attitude is what makes you stay. And, there are so many people around you who will tell you like, don't do this, don't do that, pull it, but, you should be deaf. And yes, one single thing is, you will have to be believing in yourself, and be more, fearlessness you should come, and be more bold. There are people around to only pull you down wherever
Mm.
you go. So uh, I think that is the attribution. I think, one single one is you don't give up. Never say die attitude is what you should have.
Right, you told. Great. In fact, there are two major points also. One, in fact, you also shared, we get a feeling called anxiety as what will happen next. And that's what I believe you shared in the previous answer when you're sharing, that we get a lot of anxiety sometime. And then because with anxiety, that itself is one of the important factors that we miss out on taking risk. So, if you can just highlight more on the anxiety part alone, and how do we actually overcome anxiety? Are there any key steps that would also really be helpful as this one question? Then we go for a quiz. So, how do you overcome an anxiety?
you cannot stop that, as long as you keep your mind idle, it all happens. Anxiety comes mostly in the night,
Yes.
when you don't get sleep. So
True.
the best way is, you need to exercise well, daily in the morning you go out, tire yourself out, your body, you get charged. And then, the body, the clock works properly if you get up early in the morning, do your own routines properly, and then automatically you sleep. So as long as you're going to sleep, you don't need to worry about your this one. Yes, the initial times, anxiety will be there. You need to make the payment, the checks have to be honored, and so many things. My goodness, I mean, it is a big thing. But at that time, your health, so my only thing is, you need to take care of your health very, very seriously. That is the single most thing I would say. We are all humans. Anxiety is part of life. Anxiety is actually good. That will not allow you to sleep. But excess of, no sleep will also is a trouble. So you need to be very disciplined, in everything, especially, fitness when it comes, because once you cross the age of 45, you tend to get all kind of trouble. Your mind can become sharp, but rest of the thing, your body gets weaker and like that. You start have to wear glass. So many things. One after other, it keeps hitting you. The body pulls you down, but so that anxiety will be there. It is good, but then make sure you get a good sleep so you're done. If you have a very bad day, we've been having continuously bad days day after day. But then when you get up, you're actually fresh. So you're actually, raring to go for the next day, and make sure the mistakes down there, and then try to correct whatever the past, and then try to move on.
No, wonderful. Great, Mr. Habib. So, Mr. Habib, now we'll just take 2 minutes time. We'll just quickly ask a quiz question to all our members who are here attending today, so that we also understand more from them as what is their takeaways and understanding. So, before we go to the quiz question for the week, let me quickly share with you the winner of the last week's quiz. And the winner of the last week's quiz is Mr. Yugender, who is the HR at Everest IMS Company. So, congratulations, Yugender, for receiving the Mask Leadership 360-degree assessment for complimentary. Great. So, let's go ahead. So, this week quiz, let's see. Remember the fastest fingers first. And definitely your role is to type in the answer on the chat box. And if your answers are right, then definitely you receive the Mask Leadership Online 360-degree assessment as complimentary, which we'll be able to take an assessment and a detailed report you'll be getting. So the question is very simple, which Mr. Habib had shared for the first question which we had asked. And the question was, Mr. Habib shared 3 points as why people, in fact, stop taking risk. So what is stopping people taking risk is the question which I asked, and there were 3 important points Mr. Habib told. What are those points which Habib has shared? Quickly, if you can just share that on the chat box, it would be great. Ms. Sujata Pau writes, one is fear of failure, rightly told Ms. Sujata Pau. And yes, Yugender is writing again the second one, which is called, wow, a fear of failure, eagerness to take more risk, and fear of failure. We have Mr. Param here, and Param has given all the 3 right answers, and also one which is added, that was the last question, called anxiety, also is one particular point. So I believe all the 3 has been given by Mr. Param on the chat box. We're able to see. Mr. Param, you receive this week as the winner for the Mask Leadership 360-degree feedback online assessment. So, Mr. Param, we would request you to kindly unmute yourself, and I believe our team has already unmuted you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Mr. Param. It's nice you being in here on this platform. If it's possible, you can also turn on your videos so that we'll be able to see you. And that's great. Thanks very much, Mr. Param.
Thank you.
Great. So, Mr. Param, if you can just quickly share about yourself, as where do you work, or more about yourself so that we understand you.
I work with RWD. Basically, I'm taking care of property acquisition, legal and approvals.
Wow. Great. Thanks very much, Param. So definitely, I believe you understand the key points, what Mr. Habib says with you. That's really identified. You made a note of it, and then you have shared. Thank you very much. So you definitely receive the Mask Leadership 360-degree assessment as complimentary. And so, Mr. Param, since you have given the right answer, any question you have to ask Mr. Habib for today? And then we also have our other members also, we can be taking up an opportunity to ask question to Mr. Habib. Do you have any question, Mr. Param?
Probably once sir completes his complete interview, then I can put up my question.
Sure.
Would like to hear more from sir.
Yeah. So anyhow, it's an open question now for all the members as well. Thanks, Param. But definitely
thank
feel
you.
free to share either in the chat box as well as or on raise your hand.
Yeah.
So members as well as visitors. So now it's the time to ask questions to our guest, Mr. Habib, on the respective topic which we had, leader as a risk taker. And I'm sure such an inspiring story we have understood or learned from Mr. Habib today. So if you have a question to ask, please do either write in the chat box, raise your hand, or either way is fine. And then we give you an opportunity so that you can ask a question to him. So in the meantime, Habib, as they also going to ask a question or it's going to come up in the chat box, let me ask you, what is the key message? Now that here the people are in this particular community, one is our working professionals and two are business people. If we could say it is around 70% are working professionals in the community and 30% are business people. So what is the message you feel that you want to share with our members and the guest here for the first time?
So, okay. So mostly it's all professionals here. So,
yes.
I mean, I used to tell my team, it's like, you, as long as our intentions are right in whatever we do, you need to be very honest and truthful, and then have a fearless approach in what you do. You don't need to, cut sorry to anybody. So as long as everything is perfect, just be fearless, be bold and fearless is what I always keep saying. So if you think it is right, the decisions, whatever you're taking, just go for it. It's actually okay, absolutely okay to fail, unless yeah, it is mostly for the professionals who are working. So the biggest problem with the company is people don't take a decision. They fear that will my boss shout at me or for taking wrong reasons, or will I be put in front of other people in a meeting like that. But
yeah.
That's okay, but you will not grow. You need to take, as I said, if your convictions are right, and just go for the decision and take it and stand by it. And I think the management will be okay if the decision goes wrong. But
Yeah.
at least you should make an effort to, do it. This is what, as I said, 80% of my life is actually failures. Only from failures you actually learn things faster. Now today, I think the percentage has actually come up as we age, as we experience and everything. So
Yes.
the point is take decisions, take risk, and be fearless is my one single message.
Great, Mr. Habib. Thanks very much for sharing that message, which we need to be very honest, be very, very fearless. Definitely share. One question we have from one of our members is, what sort of risk a working person can take from Mr. Devarayan? So, Mr. Devarayan, we are unmuting you. If you like to ask the question directly and can turn on your, you already turned on your video. Thank you very much, Mr. Devarayan. So, Mr. Devarayan, you can unmute, we can also unmute yourself to ask the same question.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, Mr. Devarayan, you are. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, Habib, Prakash, and everyone here. Okay, so the question which I have asked is, what sort of risk a working personnel can take? Because all the major decisions that an entrepreneur can take in terms of finance, HR, or most of the business operational things, right? And now a working professional is bound to be with a team, or or by the boss's comforts. So what sort of risk he has to exhibit or he has to take, and which will uplift his career? That's what is a question which I have asked for.
No, I think before that, thank you for asking that. And before that, I would like to know, I mean, what is the post you're in, and what is your role in the company, so that I
I'm
can be more specific.
yeah, true. I'm heading compliances for the country, and I'm in the company called Hitachi ABB Power Grids.
Wow. Okay. So you are an engineer or?
No, I'm a business graduate, MBA.
MBA. Okay, fine. Um, so I need a few more things to hear before I may make. I just don't want to throw it up like that. So what is the ambition in life? I mean, how long you been working here?
Uh, I've been working here for the past 1.5 year. Earlier,
Okay.
I was with a service organization. There, I have worked for 10 years. I was heading a region for that particular company in compliances. Now, here I'm heading the country for compliances.
Yes, Mr. Habib, believe his video is stopped.
Could be an internet test.
Yeah, it could be an technical
Net,
glitch. You should
yeah,
be back
network.
with us.
Yeah, network issue.
Yeah, that could be a network. Should be back with us in a moment. That's a good question, Mr. Devarayan. Thanks very much for asking the same.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, members, if you have any other question, please feel free to ask or either type in the chat box or raise your hand so that we'll be able to unmute you. Yeah, I
So
believe Mr. Habib is
he's
joined
back. Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought there's a problem from their side. So I mean, so how many years work experience do you have, Devnarayan?
Yeah, I'm working since 97 and been in different companies in different positions. I started my
Okay.
career as a technical person only.
Okay. So what's
Like
your
I
ambition in
best
life? What is it you want to
ambition
do
is like
next?
I have to run my business. That's my ambition in the
Fine.
similar
So
field.
good. So I think you are 50 now, must be, or around that.
Yeah, 40, yeah, 40 plus.
40 plus. Okay, good. Sorry, I didn't want to embarrass you with the age. Yeah, I think
No problem.
27 years working is a good amount of time. I think, you have seen I mean, you have shifted various companies and seen, and now you're working for a very big company. Uh, yeah, I think more or less I've covered, but I think if you're want to jump into entrepreneurship on your own, I think this is the right time. I think you should not wait any longer. You'll have to jump because as you get older, you're only, the energy levels, generally goes down, but doesn't happen for many. I mean, some people. I mean, if you're really charged, there are people who are very charged even at 80, 85 years. So but then it's the right time. I think you have the good amount of experience and to start. So, what is the question now? Sorry, what is the question? I don't have
The
it.
question is like when we are working, like now we will be reporting to somebody, and
Yeah.
we are bound with the teams, and there are some restrictions. So what kind of risk a person can take? Well, you have answered partially in your previous question
Hmm.
where Prakash told, but what kind of risk a working professional can take?
No, no. So now
And
you're a senior person in the company, and I think you should lead by example. And you will have to mentor a lot of your team below, and project yourself as a good leader, and I mean solve their issues, whatever they have. I think if you can just master that, you shouldn't be doing what you've been doing last year. You should now see who's your boss. You see what he's doing, just try and imitate him and like that. Take lessons from him, and then you try to be like a boss. You're your superior. So that is where you'll grow fast, and then you will do. I mean, at this age, at this experience, you should be only mentoring people and patting them. As I said, people will be making a lot of mistakes, and you are in the higher, you will have to take the blame, but you will have to encourage them, pat them, take them along, and we create that kind of leadership. And as I mean, it's applicable to all. Everybody will fail. The decisions can go wrong, but just back them up and get ready. So because once you want to start, I think you will have a team, and you will have to be more responsible. So I think that is the one point I would say.
thanks, Habib. Actually, thanks for sharing what I'm just trying to do or doing all these days. But this question is generally for the fraternity who are there here and who wanted to grow up and along with me. So that's just wanted to ask this question
Definitely.
for them.
That's when, thanks very much, in fact, Devarayan, for asking. Just to add on, as what, in fact, Mr. Habib also shared just in the message when he wanted to share, is one, he said we need to be very honest and fearless, right? So I just want to add on from my side for the working professional, especially when we are growing to the top management, and as we are moving to top management, there is a set of already a team which is there, which is a much corporate, much bigger companies. There could be politics, there may not be politics, but being honest sometimes is becoming very challenging in much of the bigger corporate companies. And they say there are people who actually start lying even to the team down the line. So maybe my one of the point that Mr. Habib has shared with being honest itself is one of the important quality where we actually need to take a lot of risk. There are people who, because of the fear of being honest, even if I be honest, my position will be under threat. Is there in most of the people mind in the bigger corporate companies? And rightly shared by Mr. Habib. Thank you very much. That was a very excellent point you highlighted, sir, Mr. Habib. This is being very honest and being very fearless. And that's what I believe, Mr. Devarayan, you've been asking as well. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Devarayan, for sharing your question as well. So great. So I believe most of the questions, but more questions are there. But nevertheless, the time is also getting a little short. So we will be quickly summarizing on what we actually had gained. In fact, all the deeper insights from Mr. Habib. So yes, so let me quickly share the virtual background, which will be easier for us to understand. And Mr. Habib today, in fact, has shared. Today, you can see on my virtual background now. We have the mask leadership. These are the 5 basic elements of leadership, which is there in a person. So we have productive habits, and UH stands for unproductive habits. We have S, that's skills. We have PF is positive feelings and negative feelings. In fact, today, Mr. Habib had shared most of the qualities where one was the productive habit, as he highlighted that we should be honest. And he also touched on the negative feelings part, that is, we have fear. One of the important point which is stopping people to take a risk is the fear, especially fear of failure. So that's a part of a negative feeling which has been shared. And anxiety also comes, and anxiety is also a negative feeling which has been shared. So that's when we understood the 3 major components, and there's one more was comfortability. So one was the fear of failure, which is a negative feeling, which is also the anxiety second, and third was the comfortability, or we need to move out away from our comfort zones. So we could see these all are feelings. So the more and more we are actually working on our positive feelings rather than negative feelings, that's when we shift. That's what we'll be able to overcome, and that's what we're able to understand from Mr. Habib as well. In fact, you've shared, and he's excellently shared his story. We are able to be a very inspiring story right from the colleges joined. Very rarely, people say that I want to be on my own because even the father is already a millionaire and we have already businesses, but we're coming out and then starting on the own is that itself is a huge challenge, is a huge risk which people take. And Habib, we're really inspired by the way how you really do that. That's really great. And you also given us more and more clarity about the key aspects. What are the places where you have taken risk? One is on the finance. It could be the financial sides. Payments need to be made. Anxiety will come. But overcoming, we need to focus more on health is what you have told. Because challenges will be there for people. But there's a switch on, switch off mode which you're talking about. Definitely that really helps. When we are in sleep, we need to sleep. So risk is there for every human being, and we need to overcome the risk. And overcoming the risk is what you also ended up sharing excellent qualities. One is being honest and being fearless. Great, Mr. Habib. It is very, very nice interacting with you here. I'm sure most of the points our members as visitors would have got more clarity. So for the people who are coming for the first time, the visitors who are here for the first time, let me quickly explain you all that the Mask Leadership Community, the Leaders Connect, happens every Wednesday from 6:30 to 7:15, where we invite one of the key top management leader from a corporate company to share their live experiences and the real-time leadership challenges, which we all the working professionals or business people share it on our website, themaskleadership.com. So if you all feel still there are challenges in your respective company, in your role, it could be in leading self, leading others, or leading business. If you have any of such real-time leadership challenges, Please do share your challenges on our site, themaskleadership.com, which you're able to see that on our chat box now. And we also have the clear learning session is what the next week, which will be doing so. So great, that week, next week episode is also on the screen, the link which is there for the next week as well. Please feel free to register for the next week. So next week we have members, we have the reflection session, the last continuous episode, 3 episodes. Every month, the last week is a reflection session. We had Mr. Karthik, the director of a Global Alliance from Tata Consulting Services, the February 1st week. We did have Ms. Kezia Hitesh, who's the HRD head of Foxconn Limited on the 2nd week. And today we have Mr. Habib, the director, chairman director of managing director of RWD. In all the 3 topics, we have got a lot of insights. Next week, members, stay tuned more to share your key learnings. We have structured learning processes, and let's see how leaders learn from each and every leader. Just by listening, it's just not sufficient. We need to go back to demonstration, and how to demonstrate is where the next week episodes we will be interacting more deeper. What needs to be done is where. So thanks very much one and all for being in here. Mr. Habib, thank you very much once again.
My pleasure.
It's
My
really
pleasure.
great.
Thank you so much for having me, and
Yes.
the
We're
team.
excited that you have been here, and nice listening to your stories as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So any other questions, any of our members or visitors, or we will be playing a thank you video. So we have the chat
Param
box.
said, want to have a question?
That's almost done, Mr. Habib. I believe even time is 7:20.
Done.
It's been really great. So we have one final thanking video for you, Mr. Habib. Any other points you would like to share, Mr. Habib, to our members or visitors?
Nothing. I think I've made it very simple, and I think message is very clear: honest, truthfulness, fearless, bold.
Great. It's
Go
just
for it.
me. We need to go ahead and start deploying it. So thanks very much, Mr. Habib. Excellent
you.
message being shared. And here is a thanking video for all. So thank you one and all being here, and we all will meet again next week. Thank you very much, Mr. Habib, sir, for being in here. And thanks all the members and all the visitors as well. So next week, let's go ahead with a key learning session. Thank you all.